information. Recording in progress, got it. Take the information, the energy, the motivation, and the knowledge for yourself and for your club. And the whole goal is to help your clubs and your members thrive. So I hope you have fun, get engaged, and make the most of the time we have this morning together. A brief overview of our agenda. We're going to be having our keynote speaker, Dr. Kenisha, this morning. We will have then discussion on club goals, a short break. Then we will have a breakout room session, and we will wrap it up with our club success plan. And that is what we are looking at for today. A lot to pack in. Grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your water, and let's get ready to have a wonderful time. I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker with a special video. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's the John Maxwell team. Our certified members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe. Our reputation is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the very top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend, Dr. Kenisha Williams.
When you add value to someone, when you connect, invest, and inspire, they add value to others, and those others add value to others. And as a speaker, it's my mission to start the change reaction that adding value causes in your company. Hi. My name is Dr. Kenisha Williams, and I am a John Maxwell Team certified speaker, teacher, trainer, and coach. I am passionate about personal development in all of its forms, but my specialty is speaking. At every engagement, I am determined to bring transformation to your organization. To me, your event is not just an event. It's an all-important opportunity to empower your people to lead an open doorway into the next phase of your business growth. But in order to step over that threshold, your speaker needs to communicate and connect. John Maxwell Team certified speakers, like myself, are the intersection of substance and heart. John Maxwell has been one of the world's foremost leadership development experts for more than 40 years. His leadership principles are time-tested and world-renowned. And as a Maxwell certified speaker, I can bring those principles to life for your attendees, offering insights on a wide range of impactful topics from leadership or communication to goal setting and other pillars of personal growth and development. I can't wait to add value to you and your people. Speak with me today so that I can speak for you tomorrow.
All right, family. So excited to be here with you on today. As you heard in the introduction, thank you so much, Morris, Melissa, to all of our Toastmasters for inviting me to be able to add value today. So we're going to be here briefly, and by brief, I mean about 30 minutes, which is brief for me, just to talk about who am I? Right? We know that we're Toastmasters. You know, my name is Kenisha. We know your name. I called several of your names out, but the question really is, who am I? That's what I want each of us to be thinking. And then specifically around the topic of being a leader. So a little bit about myself, and then we'll go on to our content for today. I have been in public education for 22 years. That's right, 22 years. I was a teacher, 5th grade, 4th grade, kindergarten, 1st grade in the States. I was a teacher in Japan, Okinawa, Japan, came back to the States. I was in administration for 15 years and literally just resigned on June 30th, just 30 days ago, to pursue my business full-time with what I'm doing on today. I've got several degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, 2 doctorate degrees, but really a degree is just a degree, right? And it doesn't really describe the all-encompassing knowledge. It's really not just about knowledge, but it's about growth. and I'm a person that believes in growth. So again, I'm going to ask you, who am I? So then looking here, these are all of the people that have really had a massive influence in my life. So when we're looking at who am I, I'm a compilation of the people on the left, the top left, that's my family, mom, dad, brothers and sisters. The top middle, those are my other parents. The top right, that's the staff that I had the pleasure of leading for 13 years, who taught me how to be a leader. The bottom left, Dr. Pinley, you'll see Papa John Maxwell in the middle, and then off to the right, one of the superintendents that really nurtured me for 13 years. So when we think of who am I, who are you, the question is, who are the people that are around us? Because they're either going to add value to us or detract value. So we want to be very intentional about that. So then who am I as a leader? So I want you in the chat box really quick. I just want you to pop down and write, who am I? Just in the chat box, go. How would you describe yourself? If someone said, who am I? What would you say? Go in the chat box. I know there was a black screen. I hope that it's fixed now. So just quickly, who am I? Lifelong learner, Kathy, good. All I can be, Ray, good. Helper, good, Geneva. Geneva was our jazz musician this morning. Monica, mom. Paul Brooks, teacher, motivator, helping those who are afraid to stand up. Service leader from Bond, passionate, team player, servant, Marjorie. Sharon, I'm not a leader, I am excellent. I'm follower and supporter, good. I'm going to challenge that thought though here in just a second. Teacher, motivator, devoted, avid learner, good. Marvel, team player, excellent. So these are all of the things, right, of who we are, but we're going to go deeper as we continue for today. So I'm going to continue to project my screen, and let's go a little bit deeper with who am I? When we're looking for this notion of leadership, and give me a thumbs up if you see the black screen. If you see a black screen, give me a thumbs up. Okay, what about now? Okay, good. All right, so let's go to our next stop. So think about leadership. For our purposes here today, a couple of you guys, ladies and gentlemen, said that you were leaders, but I'm going to challenge that all of us are leaders in some capacity. But really, what is leadership? So I'm going to randomly call on names. We want to have interaction, and tell me, what do you see those words there for leadership? I'm going to call on my friend Melissa first. Next, after Melissa, I'm coming to you, Frankie. So just real quick, Melissa, what do you see as leadership?
Leadership, absolutely influence, helping others see your vision and follow your lead.
Okay, Frankie, go. After Frankie, let's go to Thomas.
I see acceptance, I see compliance, and I see individual. Each one of us is an individual.
Okay, good. Thomas.
Consideration, communication, success.
Good. Philip.
Thinking.
Thank you, Thomas. Philip. And then Pamela.
Value and vision driven.
Okay. And then Miss Pamela. And you're muted, my friend.
Warning. You gave me warning. Thank you. I appreciate it. Leadership is being able to influence people using different sets of skills in different situations, because we are all individuals.
So my question I'm going to ask all of us is, are you a leader? So I just want you quick in the chat box, drop. Who am I? Are you a leader? Just yes or no, simple, yes or no. Paul says yes. A couple people say, I see yeses, I saw no, okay. I saw yes, no, okay. Still no, okay. So let's go a little bit deeper in what we're defining as leadership. So I want us to take a moment, and many of you may have seen this before in one of my other trainings, but I want us to just have a little bit of a dialogue. So this is not so much a keynote as it is, I need some engagement. So take a look at this picture, and what do you see there? Key, I'm going to come to you first. Dr. Valencia, you'll be next. Then Steve, I'm going to come to you third. So what do you see here when we're looking at the diversity of pictures when it comes to this notion of leadership? Who am I? Go, Kia.
Could you ask that question again?
Absolutely. So when you look at these pictures here about leadership, what do you see? What stands out to you? It's going to be different for all of us, but what stands out to you, Kia?
Teamwork, I see like little notes, teamwork, and the little stickies of different things that's encompassed in being a leader.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Kia. Dr. Valencia.
I inspire people. Leaders inspire people.
Okay. All right. So I haven't heard anything about a title yet. Just make a note there, right? Haven't heard anything about a title yet. Let's go to next person that I called.
I think that's me. I
Yes.
muted myself. Well, I'm looking at all those and I'm trying to see which ones apply to me. I think I'm a good example. I do look forward. I am working on coaching and supporting, and I'm a long-term Toastmaster. I enjoy the experience, and I'm currently Vice President Education, so I have a couple things I really want to learn about that today. I'm not sure if this is the right place to share that, but it's a good mix of things. A lot going on there. So.
So Steve, there's a lot going on. So when we look at the dynamic of leadership, it's not just title and position. There's a lot there. Leadership is multifaceted. So I'm trying to persuade a couple of our friends who said, oh, no, I'm not a leader. What really is leadership? Who am I? Okay, Jennifer, could I tag you, Jennifer? And guys, if I call on you, don't want to say anything, just say, Kenisha, double thumbs down. I promise you I'll be fine. But Jennifer, I'd love to hear from you. What would you say, looking at this picture, what stands out to you about leadership? And Miss Jennifer, did you want to say? And I think you're muted, my friend.
Looking at the picture, I like looking forward and empowering people, helping people see what they're able to do. And I like to be a good example and inspire people.
So do you need a title for that?
No.
Do we need to be the master chef Toastmaster? And I'm being funny on purpose. Do we need that to be considered a leader?
I do not think so.
Okay, good, Jennifer. All right. Let's go, Morris. I want to hear from you. When you see this picture, what do you see when it comes to this notion of leadership?
I'm seeing that leadership is primarily about people, the people that you lead. It's there in red, which is my favorite color, leading people. Empower people has the red check mark by it. Leadership is in red. This red is calling my name, but it's all about people first. You're pouring from you into other people to bring them into your shoes, hopefully, and beyond.
Okay. So anybody out there that's a parent, let me just see your hand. If you're a parent, wave, put a virtual thumbs up. So by nature of being a parent, you're a leader. Anybody out there that has at least one person that comes to them for advice or direction? Let me see, just by hands, virtual hands, like somebody talks to you, you give somebody, you're a leader. And so leadership is not a default of title, my friends. And I think oftentimes we rely on title and we sit there and we don't realize, and I'm gonna go here in a second, that leadership is messy. That's why I put these pictures here that are not aligned. That's why I put these pictures here that are overlapping with the red space, and then there's a white space, and then one's cutting out the other, because leadership is messy, but leadership is dynamic. Leadership is about people. Leadership is about adding value. And the fact that you were on here today on this Zoom to add value, check this out. First of all, to yourself. And then you're going to go out and multiply value to others. It deems you, in my definition, of what being a leader is. Okay, so let's look at our next one. So who am I? Am I a leader? Let's go back down to the chat box just again, real quick. Drop down. Is it yes or no? Do you feel like you are a leader? Real quick in the chat box. As we're changing perhaps the dynamic of what is a leader. Am I a leader because I have 6 degrees? No. A degree, my friends, is just that. It's a little piece of information. A title. I was a principal for 13 years at the same school, and my night custodian, my sub-custodian that worked 4 hours, that cleaned the bathrooms, was just as important as me as the principal. Because leadership is not about title. Leadership is about influence. So let's look at this. This is a quote that I got from Cameron Cruz. It says, leadership has nothing to do with personal attributes. So you may say, oh my gosh, she's so exciting. I heard Suzanne make a comment about, people who don't drink caffeinated coffee. Guys, I've been on no coffee. I'm excitable. This is me. But does that make me a leader? I think not. It's not about personal attributes. Let's take a look at this one. I'm going to ask somebody to unmic because I know you're excited. Unmic and read this loud and proud. Just somebody go quick. Unmic, read this loud and proud.
Leadership has nothing to do with seniority or someone's position in the hierarchy of a company.
Ooh, read that again, my friend, louder. Read it again.
Leadership has nothing to do with seniority or someone's position in the hierarchy of a company.
Ooh, so what you're saying is, I don't have to be Morris to be considered a leader. So I know Morris personally. The guy is the bomb. He's excellent. He's awesome. He's analytical. I mean, he's driven. But you mean I don't have to have Morris's title and I can still be considered a leader? You mean that my club can be a club of 5 for now and I still be considered a leader? You mean that I could not even have my own club yet, but I'm aspiring and I'm still a leader? And my answer to you is yes. Leadership is not predicated. Listen to me and listen to me good, my friends. It's not predicated upon personality traits, though I love my personality. It's not predicated upon your social class. It's not predicated upon the title office. Although we love titles, it's not predicated upon that. Let's go to our next one. Now, somebody else. Unmic, read it loud and proud. Quote by Peter Drucker, loud and proud, please.
The only definition of a leader is someone who has followers.
So if you are a parent raising your kid or a grandparent helping to raise your kids' kids, you're a leader. We've got to break this notion that leadership is principal at a school. Morris's position in Toastmasters. Leadership is, do you have anybody following you? Whether that's children, whether that's somebody in your company, whether that's over Toastmasters, whether that's somebody in your church, whether you're doing a community organization and you've got 2 people in your committee, you, my friend, are a leader. Leadership starts within. It starts up here with us, first of all, believing that we can influence people in a positive direction. I'm going to go even another step that's going to stretch your mind. Can you be a leader and you don't even know who your followers are? How about social media? How about we can encourage people just by the things that we're saying, social media, if we have printed material, if we do videos, right? Some of us may do videos we put out there, all of those things gain us influence over people. I want someone else to unmic, someone who I have not heard your voice yet today. Unmic and read us this quote, please, from Bill Gates about leadership.
As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others.
Oh, so again, not looking for title. We're looking for someone who's adding value to someone else. We're looking for someone who's looking to give a hand up to someone else. Isn't that what Toastmasters is all about? That's a rhetorical question. Absolutely. The whole point of Toastmasters is we are out to empower people. It's not just about the speaking, folks. Please, please. It's not what Toastmasters is about. That's a part of it. But what you are doing, what we're doing as Toastmasters, we are empowering a generation of people to be able to, guess what? Stand up and influence others with their words. That's what we're doing. We are empowering and leading others in their own personal development, their own personal growth, so they can go out and add value. I'm going to brag on Paul Books for a little bit. So when I spoke to Toastmasters, I believe it was last year, then Paul invited me to come and speak to his business organization. So Paul, being a Toastmaster, now has influence in a whole nother organization that has nothing to do with Toastmasters. If you have a job, which most of you probably do, if not all, that's outside of Toastmasters, you are a leader in Toastmasters. You are being empowered. That's what today is about. You are going out to empower others. And then guess what? They're going out and multiplying value to others. That's really the root of Toastmasters. Yes, we tell people you said too many ands. I'm probably breaking all of the rules today. I know I am, right? Morris will call me on it. I know I am, but that's really not what it's about. It's about each and every one of you, Bill Miller, Missy Edwards, Becky Palmer, Michael Orser, Chantel Edward, all of you. It's about each of us individually, knowing who we are and the value that we have to add to Toastmasters, yes, but to this world, whether it's your kids, it's your family, it's your neighborhood, it's your company, it's Toastmasters. That's what leadership is. My mentor, John Maxwell, who you saw at the beginning, he says, I'm leadership sad. I think we can see on a scale being played out in our country. I love our country. I would not go anywhere else to live. But I think we can agree in some fashion that we could probably all say we're a little bit leadership sad over what we've seen over these past couple of years. So what are we going to do? Are we going to know who we are and go out there and be the leader that changes the world? Or are we going to say, oh, I'm not a leader. I'm going to wait on this politician to make a change. I'm going to wait on Morris Anderson because Morris is wonderful. I'm going to wait on Melissa. No, better yet, I'm going to wait on Suzanne Leonard, because I know that they can make it happen. Absolutely not, my friends. Each and every one of you on here today has been called to impact this world. Toastmasters is a part of the world, but it's bigger than that. So you matter, your voice matters. And if you have anybody following you, you are a leader. So changing our definition of what leadership is. This one again, you heard me say this I call him Papa John. Morris is on the team with me. Dr. Valencia is actually joining the team, I hear in August. So kudos to Dr. Valencia joining the Maxwell team. Anybody interested in joining it, certainly give me a DM and I'll give you some information on that. But leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. When I first started as a principal 13 years ago at my school, I was not the leader. I was the leader in title, my friends. But you better believe the people who have been walking around there for 20 years, they were leading that school. Until I understood the dynamic of how do I increase my influence? Not how do I increase my title, because the title is just that. I can bark out orders all day long, and I'm pretty good at that, right? My personality side, I'm sure you can see, like, I know what I want. I know what needs to be done. Let's go get it done yesterday. What's taking you so long? But that's not necessarily all of what leadership is. It's influence. How do we influence people? I'll tell you why I joined Toastmasters. It was Morris Anderson. I sat at that first Toastmasters meeting and I saw Morris come in. He greeted me, talked to me. He was doing I just saw him. He influenced me, folks. I didn't just start talking at Toastmasters. My first bachelor's degree is in speech communications. This is my life. But I joined Toastmasters because of Morris's influence. Gwendolyn Milo Butler's on here. She joined Toastmasters because she's connected to me, but it goes back to Morris because of influence, people. My Toastmaster family, we've got to see, this is a bigger picture. Toastmasters is a beautiful platform that really is empowering people. And we do that by personal growth and helping people to gain their confidence to be able to talk, whatever that is, if it's on their job, whatever that is. But it's bigger than just correcting the ands and the thes, right? It's bigger than just putting someone on the spot to give that 2-minute speech. Your value that you're giving, my friends, it's endless. Two of the greatest fears, and I know you know this, is what? Death and public speaking. So as you are empowering the world, you are leading people in their personal growth. You are impacting and empowering this world. Here's another one. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And I've got a little less than 10 minutes. And Melissa, I'm mad at you because I knew the time would run out like this. Just joking. So everything rises and falls on leadership. What does that mean? So now we're going to talk about some practicalities. Our clubs, our growth is going to be based upon us as leaders. So for instance, Dr. John Maxwell talks about the leadership lid. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being lowest, 10 being the top. If I am a 3 leader, meaning my capacity is a 3. Dr. Kenisha just thinks because she has 2 doctorate degrees, she doesn't have to grow. So I'm a level 3 leader with 6 degrees, smart as a whip, but I don't believe in growing. I don't believe in empowering. I just believe in giving orders. Then guess what? I'm going to attract level 1 and 2 people to my clubs because I cannot attract the level 8. They won't stay. So my number 1 job as a leader, check this out, is to lead me. That's the most important thing to do as a leader. First of all, lead ourselves. How do we do that? By being transparent and by adding value to ourselves, which is again, what we're doing here today. That's what I want. I want you to know that, leaders of Toastmasters and parents and bosses and entrepreneurs, you are leading yourself first when you add value to yourself with personal growth, and then you go out there to your clubs. So if I'm a level 8 leader, which means I believe in adding value, I take reflection, right? So if my club is only 2 members, that sort of reflects on me, which is fine now. But you better believe in 1 year it won't be 2 members. Because if in 1 year I still have 2 members, now I've got to do a reflection on myself. What's happening with me as a leader, Kenisha, if I've had 2 members for 2 years? Something's going on. Because I'm telling you, my friends, people are attracted to growth. People are attracted to transparent leadership, and people are attracted to someone who wants to empower them. That's what you are called to do. That's what we are called to do. People want to know that there's something to aspire to. We don't want people to be us. We want people to be the best them that they can be, but that only happens when we as leaders know that it rises and falls on me. I always say this as a leader. I give my team kudos when things go well. I take no credit. But when they don't go well, the buck stops at Kenisha Williams. That's what leadership is about. So your clubs, our clubs, all of them, how do I get new members? How do I increase my club? How do I add other clubs? It rises and falls on the backs of us as leaders. The good thing about that is we control that. The bad thing about that is we control that. I mean, we control our own growth. We control, check this out, our own investment of our own selves. Dr. Valencia Morris and I are going up to Orlando, Florida at the end of next month. It takes thousands of dollars to do that, folks. It takes thousands for registrations. It took thousands to join the team. The hotel bill alone, my hotel bill for the same conference in March was $2,000, over $2,000. Plus I had to eat. But if I'm a leader and I say that I'm impacting the world, even check this out, if my world is just my own kids, even if my world is just my current club of 2, if I say that I'm leading and empowering and influencing others, I first have to lead, power, influence, and invest in myself. So every time you get the opportunity, my friends, to come on a call like this or to go to a personal growth opportunity, do it. Because the bigger you are, the bigger your space is. Level 3 leaders attract level 1 and 2 followers. I will never follow a level 3 leader. And it's not about pride, being prideful. It is, I've got a lot to give. Paul Brooks on here earlier, he is insanely intelligent, but yet creative with his hands, right? He's not going to follow a level 1 leader. You're not going to follow a level 1 leader. So let's increase our levels, family, so that we can attract that which we want. I'm on the Maxwell leadership team because John Maxwell is a dynamic, internationally known man for over 50 years, have added value to this world. That's why I follow him. That's why when Morris joined me on the mastermind team, and then Gwendolyn Milo Butler joined, and they said, oh my gosh, there's something. That's why, Dr. Valencia, they're attracted to something bigger. We're always attracted to something bigger than us. It's within us to grow. It's within us to go to the next level. So my friends, I want you to know that we are all leaders. And last thing here, I'm going to ask one person whose voice we have not heard yet today. On mic, please read those 3 quotes from Papa John loud and proud. And this is about how leaders have to connect as we're empowering others. Someone quickly go.
If you're going to connect, people need to know that you understand them. If you want to get your message across, you have to learn how to communicate in someone else's world. Connectors create an experience everyone enjoys. John Maxwell.
Excellent, excellent. So as leaders, we connect to people. We need you. Your voice matters out there. What you are doing is not in vain. And I don't care the number of the club that you have right now. Who cares? Because you're affecting lives. Now, it does matter that we're growing, because things that are healthy grows. But start where you are and know where you're going, right? And as leaders are empowering others, starting with themselves, you are going to impact this world in ways that you may never know. But you matter, you make a difference. Toastmasters is deeper than just the speech. Please, if you haven't heard me say anything today, know that you are making a significant impact in this world. I'm going to leave you with this, and we won't be able to go through it, but John Maxwell has a book called The 5 Levels of Leadership. If you're looking for some good content, go run out and buy that. Again, it's called The 5 Levels of Leadership, and it really does a deep dive in what leadership is and the levels that people can excel to when it comes to leadership. I'm doing a conference on October 7th. I'd love to have you guys come. You can do a screenshot of that page. I'm going to do a quick 2-minute commercial that gives you more. It's going to be here in Hesperia, Victorville, California. Suzanne was there last year. Gwendolyn was there last year. Morris was there last year. So come on out. If you're looking to have a dynamic, power-packed time, Dr. John Maxwell, you see Patrick Lencioni, they're going to be there at the top virtually, but they're going to be speaking to us live from Georgia. We're going to be here in Victorville watching it. And then some of our local mayors will be here in person for that afternoon session. So again, that's October 7th. We'll do a quick commercial.
You see, the only thing you got to worry about tomorrow is making sure that you make today count. This is your day to learn how to change your world.
I need you to focus on why you were born. Let's not lose what made us, but let's grip the future and let's become the best version for next year.
Most success is when a person develops ordinary qualities to an extraordinary degree through the application of hard, sustained work.
Now, for some people, this is not easy, but there is no good reason for not doing it.
You and I were created to make a difference.
All right, my friends. So again, Live to Lead, would love to have you there. And that's my contact information. I'm again grateful to Morris, Melissa. Thank you so much, my friend, for inviting me. You matter. Your voice matters. Go out there, add value to yourselves, and then please make a commitment to add value to others, because it takes all of us to be an impact and to make an impact on this world. Thank you so much. Melissa, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kenisha Williams. Everyone, can we please unmute and give an actual resounding, audible round of applause for this amazing presentation and message.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes.
If you haven't seen the chat, Dr. Kenisha, you should take a look, because people have just been engaged and really inspired by your message. They've been posting the snippets of what they've been taking away from you, and it is fantastic. Before you go, I would really love for you to post additional information where we could maybe go to a link for your content for this event that you posted in October. Be fantastic for us to get that in the chat so that everyone can go check it out and get more information about you and your content as well. Would absolutely love that. And while she's doing that, I would love to hear from everybody in the chat too. what is the takeaway you're going to take from this message? If you're anything like me, I took copious notes about what I heard today, and it really stuck with me. And I've got some key messages I'm going to take back for my club. So what is your takeaway? What are you going to bring back to your life and to your club from the messages that Dr. Kenisha has shared with us today? If you'd like to share it in the chat, please do so. I know a lot of you already did share some of that during the message, but shout it out. What are some of the things that influenced you from her message today?
Start where you are and know where you are going. That was the most powerful line that she said that resonated with me. Thank you, Dr. Kenisha.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Chat or shout it out.
Leaders are influencers.
That's the message. Absolutely. Paul, go for it.
What stood out to me today is a reminder this week, running into a team member that unfortunately is dropping off of my team as of yesterday, moving on to other opportunities, and getting to appreciate, as Dr. Williams said earlier, those things we don't always appreciate every day or don't get to hear every day, but getting to hear from them how much I was an influence to them in their role on my team over the last, I don't know how many months, but last year or more. And again, we don't do it all the way to get influence or get the thanks and all that, but it's nice to get it at the end and to realize when you hear that truth in someone's voice, how much you impacted them, even when you may not have known you were making an impact. So that stood out from Dr. Williams' speech today, particularly because I've been dealing with that this week. And again, yesterday had to, I don't say goodbye to a team member. I won't say that because I don't think it's going to be goodbye. But I think at least ending this phase and moving to a new phase of that relationship.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing, Paul. A lot of people are talking about value. That was a key message from today. Value in the people that we surround ourselves with, Toastmasters, our club officers, our club, our members, and value to ourselves, value to others. That was a big message. And Frankie took so many notes.
Melissa, can I say one last thing? And then I promise I'll close my mouth.
No, please say more.
One important thing that we need to know as leaders, it's called the comparison gap. It is the comparison gap is the suicide to leadership. I'm going to say that again. The comparison gap is the suicide to leadership. What is the comparison gap? That's I'm comparing myself to Paul Brooks. Oh my gosh, Paul can do this. Oh my gosh, April can do this. Oh my gosh, did you see Geneva had that jazz music on this morning? Don't do that. I believe fundamentally that people are called to each of your voices. So it doesn't matter if Suzanne is on my right and Morris is on my left, that we are three dynamically different people. But you're going to know that there are going to be people called to Morris's voice. There are going to be people called to Suzanne's voice. And there are going to be people called to Dr. Kenisha's voice. So comparing to each other can be the suicide of what you have to give. No, Philip, Steve, Denise, you have your own value to give. Yes, we need mentorship. Yes, I look up to John Maxwell. I don't want to be John Maxwell. I love being Kenisha. I want you, Toastmasters, each of you individually, to know who you are. My message is, who am I? Know who you are, know the value that you give, and never despise what you bring to the table. Do not despise who you are, the voice that you have, and the gifting that you have. And if somebody else has the same thing, it doesn't matter. There's enough out here for all of us to have an impact on this world. I promise you that. So yes, have mentors. Yes, look up to me. Great. But know what you bring to the table. Because what you bring to the table, someone is out there desperately waiting for. And until you show up, they're not going to get it. Amen. So bring all of you to the table. And do not compare. Look up, right? We love that. And get mentors, but do not despise each of you, Ray, Pamela, Bill. Do not despise. I don't care your age. I don't care your gender. I don't care your non-gender. I don't care your ethnicity. I don't care what you make or don't make. every single one of you have value to give to this world. We have to believe that first before we go out to others. So take that message away. You matter. Your voice matters. Your club of two matters. Now go out and grow it. Grow yourself, then go out and grow that club. People are waiting on us, not politicians. I love politicians. I've got a politician in my local area, one of my mayors. She's mentoring me. Love her. It's not about that. It's about you. We will change this world. Listen to this, one speech at a time, one Toastmaster event at a time. That's how this world gets changed. It's people like you and I that can change this world. But we have to know, who am I? You're not Kenisha. And you should not even try to be. I'm not Sunita. But be who you've been called to be and add value to this world. Melissa, I'm done. I'm muting myself. I'm done.
We don't want you to stop. That's the problem. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, the comments keep coming, and I know some people have already said it, and I will echo it. This is the best way we could start our weekend and get refreshed for a brand new week. So thank you, Dr. Kenisha. We will have this recording. I know some people mentioned it. It's going to be recorded and posted on our Facebook. It will be available, but it's hard to capture the energy that we're feeling today. So thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you again, Dr. Kenisha. Another round of applause. Thank you. All right. And how do you top something like that? It's going to be hard, but we're going to harness the energy, and we're going to continue on with our meeting today and help cultivate our club officers today at our club officer breakfast. So take a deep breath, take a sip of your drink for the morning, and we are going to go into our next portion, which is our club goals. And after about 10 minutes of our club goals conversation, we will have a short break. Club goals. So how many of you do not know about the Distinguished Club program? Raise your hand if you don't know what the Distinguished Club program is. Let's see an emoji, a raise of hand. I got clapping from Marjorie. All right. Okay, so there's everyone here. Okay, Jason raised his hand. Okay, great. So there is some newness for the Distinguished Club program. So the Distinguished Club program, I want to show you this because it is the foundation for Toastmasters, for clubs to reach their goal of being a thriving, strong club. And the reason why we want to have thriving, strong clubs is because it supports our members. It creates an environment where our members can learn and grow and help reach their individual goals and help each other along the way, whether as just a member or whether as an officer. The Distinguished Club program, I'm going to share my screen and show you what that looks like. Hey, Morris, can you help me out with this screen sharing? It's not giving me the option for some reason.
You mean the button on the bottom?
There it is, found it.
Perfect.
We are learning, yes, okay. All right, so you come to Toastmasters.org. Whether you're an officer or just a member, you have access to Toastmasters.org. And you are gonna come to Leadership Central. And then you're going to go here to Distinguished Performance Reports. You don't even have to log in for this. This is available for everyone, anywhere, anytime. And we're going to select our district. If you didn't know, our district is District 12. Out of all the districts across the world, internationally, look how many there are. It's amazing. All these people are in the same focus of adding value to themselves and others. And we're District 12 right here. And we're going to find your club. Now you can scroll through to find the name of your club through all these names. That's one way of doing it. Or you can come to the club search bar and type in the name of your club. If your name is very similar to other clubs, you might get a lot of options. So make sure it's the whole name of your club or the club number to narrow it down. So this is the Distinguished Club program. It is a set of goals, 10 goals to be exact, where your club is striving to achieve these goals throughout the year. And alongside bragging rights of getting these goals, which is really motivating and fun to say that we got this and we got this, when you're achieving these goals, the bottom line is you're supporting your members and your club, and you're creating that environment for a successful club. You can see here we have educationals, pathways, projects, and levels completion. These are going to give you different points. This is the goal to get, for example, 4 level 1 completions. This is within an entire Toastmaster year. And then under membership, we have membership goals 7 and 8, goal number 7, goal number 8. And we want to get 4 new members and 4 new members. And goal number 9 is to make sure our officers are trained. Hopefully everyone here has gone to officer training. If not, we have some last minute makeup training, but ensuring our officers know how to fulfill their role to support their club. We do this twice a year, and the club gets credit towards the Distinguished Club program. And making sure our renewal dues are on time for our club, and our club officer list is updated on time. So 10 goals. And based on those goals, you can become certified as a distinguished club. You can be awarded as a select distinguished club for 7 goals met, 5 for distinguished, 7 for select, and 9 goals gets you President's Distinguished, the most prestigious award that you can get for your club. Now, again, it really comes down to the impact of achieving these. When you've got members, you've got a strong club because you've got people there to support each other and take on the roles and take on the officer positions. When you've got educationals being completed, your members are achieving their results of why they joined Toastmasters to begin with. That's why it's so important that every speech is a pathway speech and they get credit for it, because it progresses them through the program and it helps them achieve that personal accomplishment and those skills that they came to begin with to achieve. Now that is the basis of the Distinguished Club program. And this is a foundation for the goals that you would like to have for your club. Now, you might have some other goals for your club outside of the Distinguished Club program. And if you already have some goals in mind that perhaps you have personally, you haven't shared yet with your club, or perhaps your club officers have come together and talked about it, what are some goals that you have come up with for your club that you'd like to achieve this Toastmaster year? Go ahead and mute and share. Has anyone set any goals for their clubs yet?
For me, as president, it's 2 of my clubs are low member clubs, and so membership is key in that process. One of our clubs meets once a month, so educationals can be a challenge. So combining that with growing the club and doing the educationals is our challenge this year.
Great, thank you, Frankie. Rosabelle, your hand is raised.
As VPE, I'm actually VPE of 2 clubs, Redlands Community and Entrepreneurs. And my goal is to get members to give their pathway speeches. I've tried to make some progress, at least in understanding where everybody stands. And I think I'm getting the hang of it as far as understanding the club central positions, so that I can personally encourage members and their mentors, especially in Redlands Community, where we have a handful of new members, about 5 new members within the past 3 months that are all on level 1. So it's up to me to get them trained and comfortable with pathways. Of course, all of them are going to be using it online. In my other club, on the other hand, some of them are well, they're all advanced, And some of them are reluctant to use the online and have used the paper manuals in the past. And for those, I have to try to get them to transition and become comfortable with the online pathways. I hope those are enough goals, but obviously my job is even more than that. Maybe encourage people to enter contests. I'd like to have a club level contest at Redlands Community this year, instead of just advancing somebody blindly into the area level or division level, which is kind of scary. But I think that at least get me started, and hopefully I'll make some progress, because I really have a great team, including some of the new members that are leaders already. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Rosabelle. And I love hearing how many new people you have. And when you have new members come on board, what she's doing is fantastic. Get them to be engaged and get them into pathways, help them. And Sharon shared it with us in the chat that we do have the pathways tutorials every month, the second Tuesday of each month. So if you're not aware of that, go ahead and capture that information and share it with your club, because it's extremely helpful. It'll help those new members get acclimated and learn about the Pathways program, in addition to what your club has to offer. And don't be afraid when you have new members to get them involved in leadership as soon as possible. The sooner they can start getting involved in leadership, the more they're not only going to get closer to their goals and increase their confidence and increase their skills because they're being stretched outside their comfort zone, but it allows your club to be stronger because you've got more perspective, new dynamic, new blood, and the officer roles get to change more frequently. So new members, it's a great opportunity to start looking at when they can start getting involved as in the club officer role, even if they start as an assistant. Anyone else? Any goals that you've set for your club this year, so at the start of the year?
I'll go ahead and check.
Yeah, Darren.
Awesome. So with my club, we're trying to use our club incentives plan more often. We implemented it last year. We're going to update it and make sure that our officers use that to drive success and move towards the Distinguished Club program. And with our new members, we were a little lax over the last year of assigning them a mentor. We had a great mentor program the year before, and we're looking at bringing that back so we can really get that traction with our new members, make sure they start early and strong, and they really get those best examples for our more experienced members. And planning has been pivotal. We want to make sure that we plan at least a month to a month and a half in advance. Our VPE wants to put up a calendar that people can go in and pick roles for the future, and getting people thinking about the future helps them move through their curriculum more swiftly. And lastly, just making sure that the officers know how to pull the district reports from Toastmasters so that they can go in, see where our club stands and what we need to do to continue being successful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Dara. And this is fantastic because as we're sharing today, and that's why I want us to be interactive and speak up. And if you're not comfortable speaking up, share in the chat, because it's an opportunity to learn from each other. Even if you think you're doing something that's working, perhaps someone like Dara is going to share something that's going to spark an interest or an idea, and you'll try something new that might help your club and help your membership. And it's all about bringing this information back to your club officers, back to your club to help your club be stronger. Anyone else? Any goals that you've set? John.
I didn't set any goals because I'm not a club officer, but one thing I would like to ask Melissa is to go back to that dashboard and show us the additional reports, because that would definitely, right now, I think they're still reflecting what happened last year, but it will be very useful tool during the current fiscal year. That's all.
And which reports were you referring to?
You went to the district and you showed us the dashboard for the club, but on the other side, there's additional reports. Maybe
Are you talking about the daily reports that tells area directors what they can do to become distinguished, or the division what they can do?
That's the one, but there's also additional report that go day by day. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I can show that real quick. It's a little detouring from the message that we're focused on right now, but I will just go ahead and share that so everyone can see it real quick and see what you're talking about. Let me pull that up because there is more information on that dashboard. Okay, so when you're on that dashboard and you're looking at your club, pretend this is your club right here. If you come to the left, there's the daily reports and additional reports. And those are the reports that you can pull up that John was referring to. And I just lost my screen, hold on. But when it comes to looking at your club and focusing on your Distinguished Club program, you really don't have to worry too much about the additional information. You've got an area director that is a source of support for you. And you simply come to the dashboard to look at your club whenever you would like to see the status. And if you see, if the people are in the way, you can move them. But on the right side, you can see the goals you've accomplished as you accomplish them throughout the year. And it's a check mark once it's been accomplished. So as you progress throughout the year with your goals, you can see this, the status and where you're at in becoming a distinguished club. And let me get back here. So raise your hand if your club has a goal to be distinguished for this year, 2022 to 2023. See lots of hands. All right, raise your hand if you have a goal for your club to be select distinguished. More hands going up. And how about if your goal is to be the ultimate distinguished status as President's Distinguished? Raise your hand. All right, I see some 2 hands up. Now, you can set any goal you want for your club, but I'm going to recommend something that my mentor recommended to me. When you're setting a goal for yourself, set it high. If you think, oh, I could never become President's Distinguished, I'm just going to aim for select, or I'm just going to aim for distinguished, then that's all you're going to work towards. And you're putting a cap on your capacity for your club, for your members. So instead of holding yourself back and the possibility of growing your club and creating a club that can reach the President's Distinguished status, reach for the highest presidents and do the best you can with your club officer executive team, and then see what happens. And I guarantee you're going to be surprised by the results. I want everyone to do a little exercise with me real quick before we finalize for our break. I want you to raise your hand now and do this if you can safely. If you cannot, for any reason, don't engage. But I want you to raise your hand. Just raise it up. Now, I want you to raise your hand as high as you can raise it. Just reach. Can you go a little higher? Now, take a deep breath in and raise a little higher. And if we really get creative, we could probably stand on our chairs and raise our hand even higher, right? There's always higher, there's always more. So don't put that limit on yourself, and let's focus on what's possible. President's Distinguished status is absolutely possible for everyone here in their club, no matter where your club is at. And later today, we're going to talk about what that roadmap looks like to achieve that goal. We just have to set it and believe it can happen. All right, everyone, we're gonna have a quick 5-minute break for us to refresh. So we'll come back at 9:05 and continue our club officer breakfast. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you in 5 minutes. Let's put a timer up. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully everyone got a fresh cup of their favorite beverage for the morning. All right, now this is going to be great timing off of Dr. Kenisha's message. We're going to talk a little bit about knowing our why. Why did you take on a club officer role? right? There's a lot of reasons why you chose to take VPE, president, secretary, treasurer, sergeant arms, membership, PR. They're personal to you, and they could be reasons for your own personal development, and they should be. And then, of course, there's reasons for your club that I'm sure has become part of your family at this point. But knowing your why is important because it allows you to continue to maintain that positivity, that energy, that enthusiasm for the entire year, perhaps 6 months for some clubs that you're serving in this club officer role, so that you can make the most of the opportunity in your personal growth and make the most of the opportunity to help serve your club. I think one of the biggest reasons why some people don't step up to club officer positions is because it might seem a little daunting getting out of your comfort zone. Some of you might still be a little bit reserved in taking on this new position that you have. But if we take in what Dr. Kenisha said, this is the opportunity to add value to ourselves and add value to others. And this is an amazing quote I saw from Tony Robbins that talked about getting out of our comfort zone. He said, living life in your comfort zone has obvious benefits: low stress, reduced anxiety, general feelings of well-being, but it can also make you feel like you're in a holding pattern. Your wheels are spinning. That's because uncertainty and growth are also human needs. It's a paradox. Too much certainty, and we won't fulfill our need for growth and new experiences. But too much uncertainty can lead to anxiety and a lack of productivity. The ability to move out of your comfort zone in regular, positive ways allows you to strike the right balance between certainty and uncertainty. Pushing your boundaries can make you more productive, more adaptable, and more creative. As you push your personal boundaries, you train your brain to adapt to new situations and create new neural pathways that make you a better problem solver, decision maker, and leader, influencer. You truly become unstoppable, increasing your confidence and your capabilities. So being a club officer in a Toastmasters club is more than just a title. It's more than helping your club grow. You are helping yourself grow into the best version of yourself that you can be. And you're taking on these new challenges that are going to increase your skills and confidence. So why did you take on club officer role? We're going to have a little bit of an icebreaker session in breakout rooms with a few, maybe 3 or 4 people at a time. And I'd like for everyone to take a turn. And just a couple minutes, we have some time. I think we have about 10 minutes if we want to go that far to go through this session. Introduce yourself one at a time. Give us your name, maybe what club you're from, officer role that you're holding. And to break the ice, share something that is unique about yourself. Maybe a hobby that you have, something that you love to do. And then when you're comfortable, share your why. Why did you take on the club officer role? And Morse is going to help us with our breakout rooms here. Morse, we're good to go if you are.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, Morris. Good to see you. I see I'm in you have 2 boxes here, it looks like.
Yeah, I have 2 devices because one I'm using to control Zoom and one I'm using as my actual device.
Ah, okay. Well, this is, and I see Suzanne is in here too. This is quite an honor. The immediate past district director and the current. Quite an honor. I don't know. Yeah. This is a lot. very personalized attention.
This is what Zoom wanted you to have, Steve.
Yeah, Zoom wanted you to have the ultimate. Morris, did you send everyone to breakout rooms already?
Yes.
Okay, if you would just, Steve, I hate to leave your company, but I want to listen in on what's going on. So if you'll just assign me a breakout room so
You're in it.
I can. Oh, this is ours.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, Steve, my undivided supportive attention. Morris is your absolute on track, current attention.
Yes. Well, that's great. This is a good forum here, and I'm hoping to get some good information out of it to support the VPE position, which I kind of consider my primary. I'm also the club treasurer, and I'm in 2 clubs, and the VPE is what I'd really like to do. I've never been VPE until last year, and I'm continuing it this year because we have a club who's still working on just getting up to a good size in terms of membership, and that's been our struggle. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping the meetings on track and planning ahead and letting people know what's coming. But and I don't know, maybe this is not better addressed in a kind of a separate session, but I'm looking to get an understanding of how I can. This is I belong to 2 clubs, and this format for our agenda is one I really like. We're still sort of stuck on our old kind of format, and so that would be one thing I'd like to do. I tried it. I seem to struggle with it, and I'm also looking to get better acquainted with the pathways status reports so that as VPE I can have a better picture, better visual of where everybody's at in their movement along the pathways program. And then that DCP status that was shown earlier is important too. And I know all the club officers are involved in the DCP, but maybe having a way to almost include a DCP status update at somewhere during each meeting, just to kind of see, yeah, we made some progress between the last meeting and this meeting and that sort of thing. And because I think things that are measured tend to get attention and get to be focused on. And so those are, it's a lot. A VPE is a, busy position, and it's, and I want to just get my arms around it and get more members kind of on board with it and focused on the things we all need to be looking at.
Good. Steve, remind me again what 2 clubs you are
I am in
engaged with?
Marching Toasters,
okay.
Which is, we're still meeting on Zoom only there. And I'm also a member of Moreno Valley Motivators. They're both in C2, and the Motivators have just moved to a hybrid kind of format, which
good.
Yeah, so we're kind of getting used to that. It's good to at least be getting partially back into live meetings.
Good. Good. Well, when I was coaching a club, and you have a friend in me with the DCP, I would encourage them, and we did implement that in the interim, and so they went and became a distinguished club at the end of the year, was to just have a meeting and have people say, okay, where are you in pathways? What goal will you give us? So you begin to flesh out that DCP, and you don't wait. So we put our initials, then we met in those days in person, but we put our initials. And I remember how supportive I felt of my own goals and as the club when I put my initials in a couple of places. It was not just the DCP, but what month will you bring a guest, or how many people will you talk to? I mean, it was just an ongoing idea rather than having that frightful, at the end of the year, we need members or to reach that. So I think your idea of embracing the whole and keeping people aware and accountable of their commitment to themselves for growth, because I think the VPE is a pulse indicator of the health of the club. You have to have people, they have to begin to see value, they have to start having promotions, they have to feel better about communicating with their teens and their toddlers, all of that. So I really appreciate your positive vision and commitment to your positions this year. Well, yeah, I have a phone call. Yeah, thank you. I'll be right back with you guys. Stop video.
I like her term a toddler there, I guess for new members, I think is what she was referring to. Kind of learning to walk first.
Steve, how long have you been in Toastmasters?
I have been in Toastmasters since 2006, so 16 years, I guess that works out to.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm retired now. Have been for about 3 years. Most of my retirement's been in the COVID era, but that's a whole other discussion. So I'm in Toastmasters primarily because I enjoy just putting speeches together and giving speeches, and I like to be part of a group such as Toastmasters provides. We've got a good core group, and the camaraderie that we have, I think most Toastmasters would agree that that's a big part of the experience, and kind of working within a group to, be a place where new members can come if we can get them and retain them, and that's something that we are focused on. Hope we have occasional chances of getting people. We get referrals sometimes, and it's just kind of surprising how often you get a referral and you contact somebody and you give them the information. We're having a meeting, we'll send you a Zoom invite, and they just don't come. Or if they do come, they're they come and we really don't grab them and keep them. So that's I'm sure we're not alone in that regard, but it's we need to figure out, okay, what do we need to do differently to keep them once we at least get them into a meeting? Like I say, sometimes, in spite of your contact with them and giving them some initial information, they sort of get gun shy or just lose interest and don't appear. And it's hard to go any further if they don't show up in the first place. So I don't know if maybe there'll be some attention to that or some suggestions for how to keep them. And we'll even go back a second time sometimes, even if they didn't show up the first time, and say, well, we're having our next meeting. Can we send you another invite, or just send them the invite and see how that goes. So we're
Steve, yeah. Again, in my experience, the power of the personal phone call. There is nothing like a 2-minute, it can even be scripted, especially with your VP PM, to say, gosh, Steve, I'm so glad you came to our meeting tonight. Next week we have this going on. What did you enjoy the most? Something like that. So you're engaged, so you begin to hone in on why they came in the first place. It's just kind of a good idea. And then our VPE.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you had a great time getting to know some of your fellow Toastmasters, their officer roles, something a little bit personal about them, and learning about their whys, and perhaps being bold enough to say your why. Why did you take on the club officer role? Does anyone want to share what their why is? Why did they take on their officer role? What role do you have and why?
It was as simple for me as benefiting from the club for more than a decade and feeling like I had a little bit of time in my life to give back and contribute and serve.
Nice. Thanks, Denise. Glad to have you as our president.
I had been president before years ago of Redlands Community Toastmasters, and just recently took on the role of president again. But this, when I was president before, it was before all of pathways and everything else, COVID and that. So it was very different. We were still working out of the books, and now it's completely different. So it's a bigger challenge for me now, but I hope to give back to the club for everything it's given me for the past few years.
I love that, Thomas. That's giving back for what they've done for you. That's fantastic. It's a great reason.
And giving back is why I'm selected for the position of Vice President of Education for my home club. I'm a member of three other clubs. But even though I started with the Legacy program, I earned my DTM through Pathways. So I feel I'm in a unique position to help others navigate through Pathways, give them some strategy suggestions on how best to do it, because one of the things we fail to emphasize is it's not just completing 2 pathways. You need to be an officer. You need to maybe get involved in mentorship. So I want to give them a heads up, because some of those things require 6 months or a year or the opportunity. So you don't want to wait till you completed your 2 paths and then find out it's going to be another year because I haven't done this. So I feel that having gone through this, I can share, and that's my way of giving back for all that Toastmasters have done for me. Just real quick, at the age of 11, I was told that even though I won the speech contest, writing the speech, I could not deliver my speech because she didn't feel that I could speak well enough. So it was 55 years before I gave another speech, and that was with Toastmasters. So I owe Toastmasters a lot. So I want to serve as much as I can in various capacities in Toastmasters.
Oh, it's amazing, Mona Lisa. Thank you for sharing that. That's just a powerful testament to what you can do with the support of others when you don't put a cap on yourself. That's amazing. And it falls in line with some comments in the chat about people seeing potential in others, and that's why they took on the role. Sometimes all it takes is for someone to say, I think you do great in this officer role. And as club officers now, that's something to think about for the next club officers. When you see someone that has potential, speak up, because you'll influence them. You'll be a leader for them, and they just might say yes. Cool. Anyone else? What's your goal? Why did you take on this club officer role this year? Bond.
I just want to reflect on one of our members in the breakout discussion, Helen. She took the officer position because she wanted to challenge herself, get out of her comfort zone. This is such a great motivation. I totally relate to that. Meaning well what she said, which I feel so important, is she got so much support from the fellow members, from club president. So the support is so essential when you make this step, and you need a lot of sideline energy, not only from your heart, also from the whole environment. I really relate to that. I just want to share here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bond. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Kathy from the Club 2250, and I am blessed with a wonderful executive team and members. And I took on this role so we can continue to foster a learning, encouraging environment where people feel free to step outside of their comfort zone. Toastmasters changed my life, and
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kathy, for sharing.
I took on this role
Can you hear me?
Yeah, John.
Okay. Yeah, I took on this role because, you know, it's being associated with some really, I call them stellar and outstanding Toastmasters. You want to be involved with that. And it just helps my growth. There was a book that came out a number of years ago. It was called Moss on the Brain. And I don't want to have, as I get older, I don't want to have moss on my brain. So this gives me my growth, continues to help me grow. And, you know, I don't want to lose brain cells. Believe me, I want to gain them. And working in Toastmasters, you continue, your brain grows. In fact, the doctor told me, he says, you got to do this because if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So believe me, stretching yourself out here. And I don't know what is ahead for me, this new role, but I'm going to learn. And, you know, I'm going to learn. Hopefully I have good mentors in our club. And through that and the bumps and bruise method, I'll learn and will help the club become President Distinguished again. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Anna.
Well, yes, thank you, Melissa, and good morning, everyone. I took the role of secretary for Master Motivators and the VP of membership for the University of Laverne. However, I did do, well, whatever is left, I'll take, because I wanted to give my fellow Toastmasters in my club the possibility or the chance to choose and go for what they wanted. However, I found myself, and I encouraged one at the University of Laverne, the secretary there, to go for president, even though he thought he wasn't ready. I encouraged him because I have seen in the last 2 years the progress that he's made and how important the club is to him. So I thought, hey, that leadership and president is going to give you, you're going to learn, you're going to see the benefits that all the things you're going to learn. However, you're going to be leading us because you're doing a great job. Anyway, it took a little bit of encouragement, but he did decide to run for president. And for Master Motivators, the one that was left was secretary. And you don't know how hard I have avoided that role because I am not a good note taker. I listen and enjoy for the moment, and then I forget. So this, because of my fellow members that decided for another role, I have a challenge in doing the secretary work, and I'm working very hard on it. So I challenge myself because my members thought I need to challenge myself in that role. Back to you, Melissa.
That's great, Anna. Thank you. You know, it's a great example of someone as prestigious as Anna, who has gone through many district roles, is still looking to take on a new challenge. So that's a great example. Anyone else? What is the why? Why did you take on your officer position with your club? Any last minute people that like to share? Chaz?
Yes. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Dana Walker, and I'm from Avid Speakers in Rancho Cucamonga. And the reason why that I took on this position is because nobody else wanted it. And it's not that they didn't want it. Life happens. We have members having babies. We have members taking care of aging parents. We have members that are moving. And not to say that I'm not busy, because I am. I'm a business owner. I own a nonprofit. I do a lot of things. But I didn't want to see our club fail. We have a really good club. And now that I'm in this position, I'm excited about being of service. Being of service and being in service to help our existing members and new members reach their leadership goals as well as their speaking goals. So now that I'm wearing that president hat, I'm excited and I'm ready. Let the race begin.
Awesome. Thank you, Dana. Very inspiring. Chaz, I think you were going to say something.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. Hi, my name is Chaz. I'm from the High Desert Yak group here in Victorville. And I just want to say thank you to Morris because he saw potential in me and I was nominated. I was a little hesitant to take the position because I didn't think I was qualified or I don't know, maybe not good enough or don't know what I'm doing. But he's like, you got this, you can learn. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking this position because I want to learn and grow. And I want to be all I can be, because I know public speaking is so important in every aspect of our lives, from work to family to anything we do. And so as I'm learning and growing, I want to encourage others to do the same, because there's potential with the public speaking, there's potential in everything we do. To be our best. And yeah, I'm learning about the goals. I'm excited to set goals for our group and become the president distinguished. But I've heard more say Smedley. I'm not sure what Smedley is, but we want to do that too. Whatever it is, we're going to achieve everything we can achieve. So anyway, I just want to say hi, and I'm glad to be a part of this group.
Awesome. Thank you, Chaz. And along that message, Bon had a great quote in the chat. You don't know how much you can do until you take the position. All right. And I think unless anyone else wanted to share, make sure we don't miss anybody. Jason?
Yeah, just real quick. My name is Jason, Public Relations, High Desert, a Yak Pack. You just heard from why I joined initially. My wife was nominated as president, and we do everything together. So it's like, hey, it was a time to say, are we a part of this group or not? And going for president is a way to commit. It's a way of not being just in the crowd and saying that you're part of the group. It requires some engagement. So then becoming an officer, I mean, if we weren't officers, we wouldn't have come to this meeting. And this is like the second or third meeting that we've done so far. And we're recognizing that there's more value in Toastmasters than just showing up for meetings and being given tasks all the time. There is more connection here. So as I'm learning about this connection that's going on here with Toastmasters, I can learn what the value is, so then I can share it with other members and to the public and get more members. This is a great opportunity to grow and connect. And then once I recognize the value and the connection with people, I can take that value to other people and get new members. But thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing, Jason. Anyone else? Everyone gets a voice if they want to share today. This is about you.
I'd like to share.
Yeah, Nora, go for it.
Okay, one of the positions that I hold in Fontana Communicators and Leaderships is VP of Membership. One of the reasons that I wanted that position, or wanted to serve in that position, is we have a lot of guests that come into our virtual meetings, and I see a lot of times we lose the guests. We also have members that join and we lose the members. So one of the things that I want to do as the VP of Membership is I want to make sure that any guest that comes into our club has the opportunity to become a member, and make sure that they receive that membership application and information about dues. That's very, very important. And also to follow up, I want to be responsible for following up on our members to make sure that they are getting the benefit from the club that they signed up for. And that's why I accepted that position. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Nora. Anyone else?
Yes, I would like to say why I am Vice President for Membership. I have a mentor, unfailing, unflagging, and patient mentor in Sharon Kinty. And now I have John to help me to accomplish the goals of the position. So thank you both. I look forward to our collaboration.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, that mentorship is powerful. Absolutely is powerful. Geneva?
Originally, I became treasurer of one club because I was voluntold.
issues with their previous money person and said, here, you're in charge. The second club said, oh, she's already treasurer. She knows what to do. So let her be the money person. And the third club said, she can take care of the money. She knows how. So sometimes being voluntold is a good thing. And sometimes it can not be. But right now it's a good thing. Thank you.
So what you're saying, Geneva, is if we need help with our finances, we need to come to you?
As long as it's $45 increments, yes.
Great. Anyone else? Why did you take on this club officer role? You said yes for a reason. So if you shared today, thank you for sharing. And if you didn't, think about that reason for yourself, because it's important. It's that driving factor as to why you're taking the time to take on this club officer role and help your club. The club officers that we have in each club, they are the backbone to the success of the club.
I want to share before we finish.
Oh, Chantal, go for it.
Yes, I take this position because my members valued me. They saw potential in me that I did not see. And they say, I think you will be great in that position. And I said, do you really think so? They said, yes, we see how you evolve, how you grow. When you started in 2019, we've seen what you've done. We're gonna be there to support you, past president, past VP secretary. They all say you can do it. And I was in a search because I'm in the process of writing a book. Everything changed in my life, like in the last 4 years, in 2018. So I'm trying to be the best version, not trying. I want to be the best version of myself. So when they all suggested that I take that position, like, oh, this is a God call. So I'm gonna take that position so I can fill my cup and I'll be able to help others.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Chantal.
Thank you.
Your clubs are far better off because of you guys taking on these roles, these club officer roles. So a big thank you. Now, we've talked about goals and the why. We know where we want to go. We know why we're going there. But what's the roadmap? How do we get to that goal? How do we go from where we are today on July 30th to being President's Distinguished at the end of June 30th, 2023? Because I guarantee you this year is going to fly by in a blink of an eye. That roadmap is going to help us get us there in the right way. And that is the Club Success Plan. Raise your hand if you're not familiar with the Club Success Plan. We got some hands up. The Club Success Plan is a document that is curated for your club by all of your club officers. And we're going to show you what that looks like and go through it piece by piece. In addition, we'll make sure that we have these documents available in a follow-up. We'll do a follow-up email. That way everyone can have the documents, but they're on Toastmasters, they're easily accessed. But if you have not started your club success plan, it's really important that you learn what that is and how to do it and get started with your executive officer team as soon as possible. Because we can set all the goals we want for our clubs, but if we don't have that roadmap and how we're going to get there and work together as a team to get through the goals, the points, the points throughout the year, as well as some of the obstacles that we might overcome, we're not going to have the best chance. And this is the roadmap to get us there successfully. I'm going to share my screen and show you how to access this club success plan. Give me one moment here. All right, there we go. Everyone can see my screen? All right, great. So we come to Toastmasters.org and make sure you're logged in. When you're logged in, you're going to go to Leadership Central. And from here, you're going to come to the first option, which is Club Central. And as a club officer, you have access to this. Once it loads, you get access to this. Of course, my internet wants to slow down right at this moment. Give me a second here. All right, let's try refreshing here. All right, well, when technology fails, we have backup plans, right? We'll come back to this and how to access it, but I'm going to show you what it looks like, at least to start with. All right, here is the Club Success Plan. It's a PDF document that you can fill out. It's something that you'll download from the Toastmasters website. And can everyone see this Club Success Plan document? Okay, fantastic. This is an example of one that was done by another club. Some of you might recognize it. And I'm going to go through it so you can see what the components are, but how to fill it out piece by piece. Okay. And there's different ways that you can fill this out. If you are meeting in person, you could all have your executive officer meeting and sit down and write it out together and come up with this plan. And when you're finished with your Club Success Plan, you get to upload it online to the Toastmasters website. So you can do it in person. If you do it online, you could share the document through a couple different services, Google Drive or Adobe, and allow everyone a chance to share their feedback on the different portions, and then finalize the document. And once it's finalized, you can upload it. But it's a document created by all 7 club officers. To start with, it talks about who is the team. Your club executive committee, these are your club officers, and you simply list everyone out that you have, from your president all the way down to your immediate past president, who is still part of that executive committee. Next, we have the core values. Toastmasters core values that we all have our foundation on it are integrity, respect, and service and excellence. But if you have core values that your club wants to consider, you can include those. For example, this club put down accountability. Perhaps transparency is another one. You can put as many core values as you would like to define what your club is going to follow, what your officers are going to follow. Next, you have your team operating principles. And this is breaking it down a little bit further as to how you're going to run your club and run your meetings and your leadership team. This example shows that they put down, they want trust as an operating principle, teamwork, positivity, openness, being supportive, dedication, growth. And you can put down as many as your team would like to agree upon. John, you got a question?
It's just a lot of the things that you're showing, the text is too small to read. So if you're using Zoom, on top of your screen, there will be viewed options. You click on the down arrow and click on, there you go, that's better.
Is that better?
Yes.
All right. And yes, John is right. You can zoom in yourself at the top, but hopefully this is easier for everyone to read. All right, thanks, John. And now we go down to the potential obstacles, because we're human and things happen, life happens. We have to be prepared for these obstacles that might come our way. And it's really important that you voice it out and come upon agreement of what those obstacles might be. And preparing and thinking about what they might be will help you understand how you can handle them if they arise. This example put down some obstacles for their club, such as time or conflicting commitments, consistency, not meeting deadlines, procrastination, not using Toastmaster resources. And understanding these obstacles, you can help each other get over them and continue to fulfill your club officer role. And this example will be available if you would like to have it downloaded as well. Your club executive committee, 7 club officers, you should be meeting on a regular basis so that you can have meetings to follow up on the status of your club and go through this club success plan and see where you're at and where you need to perhaps change some direction and where your progress is throughout the year. And this club decided to set the dates down for once a month after the first Toastmaster meeting of the month. This is a weekly club, and they have the dates set down. So you can be as specific as you want. It's totally up to you and your club officer team on how you want to put together your club executive committee process. You also want to set your team interactions and behavioral norms. And how will your decisions be made as a team? This is important because you all have the same goal in mind to help your club, but perhaps there will be some differences and opinions that will pop up, and you want to make sure that you can make decisions in the right way for your club. So what does that process look like? And this example club decided to make decisions as a team that are facilitated by the president, and always keeping in mind the members staying engaged. And then it dives into what is the club executive committee's method of communication. So with our new technology going on to Zoom, not going in person as much now, if at all for some clubs, what does that method of communication look like? There's a lot of platforms that you can use. You can use, for example, they put down text messages, emails, phone calls. There's WhatsApp that a lot of people like to use. Many different social sites that you can use to stay connected with your executive team. And to ensure that you know what that primary message is and secondary might be a good idea so that everyone understands what the best way is to communicate with each other. And it dives deeper into the communication parameters. You can get as specific as you want as to how long your meetings will last. Because, you know, we're Toastmasters, we like to talk. We want to make sure our meetings are succinct and with purpose. So perhaps we'll say our meetings are only an hour or an hour and a half. We want to respect everyone's time. And how will your executive committee members, your club officers, communicate with your area director? Your area director is your liaison to the district, a source of information and support. And you want to stay connected with your area director. If you haven't heard from your area director yet, you don't have to wait. You can reach out, find out who your area director is, and you can get connected right away. They're an excellent source of information and support. This example wrote down their area director so they'll never forget who they are, and they can always reach out. This is a living document. As I said, it's uploaded to the Club Central Toastmasters website so you can view it anytime and change it anytime. And it talks about how you're going to resolve differences of opinion. What does that process look like for your club? This club decides to follow the Roberts Rules of Orders, with the president having the final say. Now, the executive committee will support one another. How? Again, just breaking down what that support and communication looks like between the 7 of you. And when you create this club success plan, it's everyone's opinion so that you can come together to make the decision as one. One one way that you can do it, I think this club did it, and I know my club did it last year, is we took the file and we allowed it to be editable and emailed it to everybody. And everyone got a chance to add their 1 or 2 sentences to each part to share what they thought would be good. And then we had a chance to finalize what that final content would look like, to agree upon it. But everyone gets a chance to input something. And how will your executive committee be held accountable for its responsibilities? For the president, for their role, for the vice president of public relations, for their role. And you can get as detailed as you want or keep it simple. And we're getting to the end of this one here, where it talks about how would the executive committee support members and be recognized for their efforts. Recognition is motivation, and your members deserve to be recognized for every achievement that they have, no matter how small or big. And this club wrote down how they're going to recognize it during club meetings, as well as using social media to highlight performances. In this club success plan, you do get to see the goals that you need to achieve for the distinguished club status. We talked about that at the beginning. Now, it is going to ask you what your membership base is. And this is found at the dashboard for the distinguished club. I'm going to go back to that so you can see if this will work for me now. Yes, great. So on this dashboard for your club, you see your membership here in the middle, and the base is right there, 20. That's what you started at the beginning of the year. And to become distinguished, you need to either hit 20 or have a net growth of 5 new members for you to be eligible for the distinguished club. So you write that here so that you know what your goal is for how many members does your club aim to have as of June 30th, and how much of that net growth does your club need to have by June 30th. And we talked about goals. What's your goal? Is it distinguished club, select distinguished? Is it presidents? Everyone should be aiming high. Presidents distinguished is absolutely attainable for every club. It does not matter where you're starting from. If you put in the effort and believe it and get this club success plan in motion, you will make it happen. And this club decided to put down 10 because they want to achieve presidents distinguished. And you get to see again what the goals 1 through 6 for the educationals are, because this allows you to plan who is going to achieve what levels. Does anyone have any questions so far? All right, try not to go too fast here.
Real quick, Melissa, this is Chaz. Is there a due date?
There is no due date, but since it's the roadmap for the year success, you want to get it in as soon as possible. So I would say to give yourself a due date, I would try to have it done no later than the end of August or middle of August. That way you have that roadmap, you know exactly what you're going to focus on for the entire year, especially when it comes to the educational portion. So you know who is going to be reaching towards level 1, reaching towards level 2. And it's great for the members too, because let's say Sally finishes level 1 and she knows she's going to try and achieve level 2 as well. So she goes right from level 1 to level 2. It just keeps your members motivated and engaged, and it keeps them going from one accomplishment to the next.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm going to see if it'll work back in. Oh, I got some raised hands. Let me see here. Rosabelle, go ahead.
Thank you. My question was that several of us have seen there is a shorter 10-page version of Club Success Plan.
Yes,
And
I'm
I
going to
see
come
you're
to that.
showing the 22-page version.
Yes, I'm going to come to that. Thank you for pointing that out. We're going to get there once this starts to load for me. John.
It's just a comment. Lesson I learned when I was an area director last year. When we do the club visits and when we write the area visit reports, if your club success plan is not available, because it has to be available to the area director when that area director puts area visit report together. If it's not available, it's going to count against you. So you want to make sure that you have a completed success plan in place before the area director completes the club visit report. So it's just a recommendation.
Yeah, and I think it's important. I wouldn't say the words that you used as far as count against you is not appropriate, but I do agree that it's important to have that success plan as soon as possible for the reasons I shared with Chaz, to get your game plan started, your focus started. But sooner for the area directors is absolutely true, because they get to get more insight into your club and to see how they can help you. That's the goal of the area directors, to help that club. And when they can see your roadmap and what your goals are for your level completions and perhaps maybe some of your obstacles, they can continue to help you and serve you as best as they can. Thank you, John. All right, let's see if this will load now. It looks like it was loading pretty well. All right, so accessing your club success plan, toastmasters.org, and you're going to come to Leadership Central. And from Leadership Central, you're going to come to the first option, which is Club Central. And let's see if it loads. They are doing final reports at the end of the year. This worked this morning and it's not working now. And they could be bogged down with some.
Just hang tight. It will go.
You think it'll go? Okay.
Yeah.
If not, I know I downloaded the form.
30
there
seconds.
It goes. All right. Thanks, Morris. Just too impatient for this technology. All right. So when you get through to Club Central, you may be in multiple clubs. You want to, as an officer, if you're an officer, you'll see these clubs, right? If you're not going to see the club. You want to choose the club that you would like to work on the club success plan. Let's dismiss that for now. And at the very bottom, you scroll all the way down, you're going to have your club success plan right here. And we see here that there's no file uploaded yet. You can download the success plan template here. And right next to it, you can also upload your plan right here. Now, we were looking at 2021 to 2022 because the example I had was in that template. That's this one right down here at the bottom. And they did come out with a new template that you can use. I'm going to show you why it's good to have both on hand, okay? But this is the one that Rosabelle was talking about, the shorter version. It has the same content in a slightly different structure. So the start of the success plan here is going to show you the Distinguished Club program. And then it goes through the same content that we talked about as far as the executive committee values, interactions. Let's make that a little bigger for everyone. How everyone is going to be held accountable to their officer role, your committee values. And it does talk a little bit more about member engagement, and on a scale of 1 to 5, how your members are interacting and engaging in your club on different ways. So the first one that's different in this one is it talks about moments of truth. And I'm going to come back to that. This is how do you say, like a survey that you can use to evaluate your club and how the content, the quality of your club from start to finish. A real assessment of how you're doing and creating an environment for your members. And you can rate on a scale of 1 to 5 how motivated your members are to attend meetings. That would be based off of attendance and feedback, and how people are motivated to sign up for meeting roles. And then it mentions here, if your club scored 2 or less in the above 2 questions, then perhaps you want to write down what are those factors that led to the club scoring low. And this is not to talk down on your club in any way, but it's just a real authentic assessment as to where your club is at and what you can do to help get it to where it could be. And then you can talk about strategies that your club will use to help the members consistently attend meetings and engage. Now, this is the part I like about the new format. In the old format, you did have a list for your educational goals, but the new one is a 1 page, just 1 page for all your goals. I'm going to zoom out so you can see this. For all the goals that you have, goals 1 through 6 from the Distinguished Club Program, 4 level 1s, right? That's the first goal. And then goal number 2 is 2 level 2s. And so what you can do here as you go through the goals, that you can write down your members' names based off of who is progressing at what pace and who is willing to commit to accomplish these goals throughout the year. And you can get feedback from your members to see who would like to do that. So if you've got Sally who's completing level 1 at the beginning of the year, chances are she's going to be able to complete level 2. And if you've got someone who's completing level 2, chances are they're going to be able to complete level 3. So again, this allows you to set the goals for your members and what you're going to achieve throughout the entire year. Now, again, it's a living document, so this might change because circumstances and membership changes. And if you have a new member that comes on board, they might be a rock star and go super fast through the program and get you a 1, 2, and a 3. But having that game plan from the start of roughly who's going to accomplish what will give you an idea of what it's going to take to accomplish these goals to be getting those points for the Distinguished Club Program. And at the end of the day, it helps the members because they're progressing and they're reaching their goals. Again, it's the reason why they joined Toastmasters. And then it talks about the educational goals and perhaps what are some of the strategies and tactics around them? What are obstacles keeping members from completing projects? What are some ways you can motivate your members to progress through the educational program? And you can see some portions of this club success plan will be more heavily written and directed by a certain officer role. So the Vice President of Education will probably have more say into this area because they have the insight and it's part of their responsibility to help them get through that educational program. And it talks more about pathways engagement. How does your club promote pathways? Are they utilizing the pathways monthly trainings that the district has? Do the members know about it? And how will you help these new members to work in pathways and in around base camp? And again, this is the base membership as we saw in the first one, and then the strategy and tactics as we saw in the first one. So when it talks about how we're going to motivate current members to renew and what your club's plan is to gain new members, you're going to see the club officers step up like Vice President of Membership, Vice President of PR. How are they going to collaborate together to get this to happen? And how are you going to motivate your current members to renew? Perhaps the treasurer might be involved in this. It's always a team effort, but when you're in that specific officer role, you can step up and take some leadership in those specific areas and take ownership of that part of the club success plan. And as president, you'll want to help facilitate this document that's being put together by the club executive team and encourage those officers that are perhaps more appropriate for these portions to step up and take ownership on what they will be able to do, and take the ideas from the team as well. And both documents do have the club officer training progress. This one's a little bit different because there's a nice little checkbox that you can click when your officers get trained. We have training twice a year, and it is a point for the Distinguished Club Program. You want to make sure that they get trained twice a year, at least 4 club officers, but ideally everyone should get trained. And you can keep track with their name here. Maybe Sally's an officer. And as she gets trained throughout the year, you can keep track of that progress as well. And then there's just a strategy portion you can write down. What are some ways that you can motivate officers to attend officer training? Maybe it's talking about the why. Why did they take on the officer role? Maybe it's to serve the club. If you're going to serve the club and give back for what they've done for you, you want to be able to make the most of your officer role and know how to take it on to the best of your ability. And that's what the officer training does. And nearing the end, administration goals. This is submitting membership dues and your officer list online to headquarters. In officer training, you would have learned about this. And more strategies and tactics. So again, looking at those obstacles and how you're going to overcome them when it comes to these goals, so that you are prepared and you know how you're going to reach the goal at hand. Now, this is a living document and an agreement with your officers. So there is a portion where everyone signs and dates their agreement to this club success plan. When it's finished and everyone's had their say and they are in agreement with the final document, you want everyone to be able to sign it with their officer role and date it. And you can do this electronically, which is perfectly acceptable. You can have them manually sign it and upload it, but you're going to have to fuse the signatures to one page. So the goal for it is to look like, show you what it's going to look like when it's done. Like that. This is all done electronically. If someone has Acrobat, it's really easy, or a PDF editor. And it's that officer agreement that they believe in this success plan and they understand the roles that they're accountable to with their club officer role. Where was I? Let me get back. There we go. And the last page, this is the biggest difference, I think, between the two documents. You have actionable items. This is an action plan item that you are going to accomplish for that goal of the Distinguished Club Program. That's the DCP. And we have goals 1 through 10. And if you forget what those goals are, if you just go all the way up to the top, they're right here at the top. You can see the 10 goals of the DCP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are educationals. So for example, if you complete 4 level 1s, that's goal 1 accomplished, checked off, done. Then you've got membership, goal 7 and 8, training for your club officers, 9, and administration part for membership dues and officer list is goal number 10. So your action worksheet, you can reference to those goals here. And then you can write down who is responsible for it and what's the due date projected, right? And it gives us that foresight as to what we're working towards and who's going to be held accountable to getting it done. And you can have as many action items as you need for each DCP goal. I think you get somewhere around 15 in the last 3 pages. Now I'm going to go back to the first one that we have as an example. It's a little bit older version. What's nice about this is at the end, it has a resource page that gives you the link towards some resources for your club, the membership applications, the moments of truth, different things for your meetings, and even the Toastmaster magazines. So it's a resource page that you can use, and they don't have that on the other one. So going back, you're going to find this again on Leadership Central. And then it's the first one, Club Central. Wait 30 seconds and be patient. And then scroll all the way down to this Club Success Plan. Every club officer has access to this. And the old template is at the bottom, 2021, 2022. The new one you can download right here and edit it, share it with your officers, curate this success plan. It's your roadmap for your club for success. And once you're finished, you can upload it right there. All right, and pull back for a second and see if we have any questions. Anna, you had a question?
Yes, I want to clarify something. You said that at the end of the document that all the officer will sign and date because that they are agreeing with this. My understanding is that they have to help with preparing the club success plan for the club, and that information is going to be requested when you are filling out the Distinguished Toastmaster application. So if you do not participate in creating this document, you don't just sign it and say, yes, I agree. You have to be working with the officers to create this this plan. So you participate, you have to put your 2 cents in to get credit. You don't just list all the officers, have them all sign if they did not help. If one of them did not help, you don't have that person sign. You don't put that person and get credit for something that he or she did not do. My understanding is here, I have the application in front of me and it says, help prepare a club success plan for the club. And then it has to be coincide with the time that you were an officer. You can't just say, oh, I helped this year and then you were not even an officer. It has to be when you're an officer and you have to participate. That's the only clarification I have.
No, that's great clarification, Anna. Thank you. And this is good for presidents because, like I said, it is a document created by everybody. So if you're not seeing someone who is engaging as a club officer, then they don't need to sign it. They don't need to get the credit. And what Anna's referring to is the Distinguished Toastmaster Award. You get credit for your officer role, and the club success plan is part of that responsibility. Absolutely. And does anyone have any other questions? John. Oh, you're on mute, John.
My understanding is that the abbreviated version of the success plan, that's on the, when you go down there, you scroll it, and you do the plan, it automatically goes to the abbreviated success plan, correct?
Say it one more time, sorry.
Well, I'm a little confused, is that the abbreviated success plan that we've outlined, that's been updated, so it doesn't go back to the old longer version. It automatically.
Yeah, they have the new one up. When you click download, you're going to download the new version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll automatically give you the new version once you download it from there.
Okay.
And then they just keep on the bottom a link to the old one if you want to reference to that format for whatever reason.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Any other questions? Hopefully that was not too much to digest.
Melissa, who's doing the final submission?
Who's doing what?
The final submission to the Toastmasters International, only president or any other officers can do that submission?
I believe any officer can submit it, though it should be the president. Morris, is it true that any officer can submit the club success plan?
Any officer can do it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any other questions?
Yeah, Melissa, any of the officers can do it, but it's the president's responsibility to make sure that it is up there.
Agreed,
Yes.
100% with Anna's statement. It should be the president that makes sure it's there, but any office can do it.
Anyone else?
Is there one more question, Melissa?
Yeah, and then we'll go to Pamela.
And any method to track the progress? I mean, in the middle of the term, should be some meeting to be held to check the progress of this successful plan, or just check that at the end of the term?
No, great question. So this is referring back to the beginning in the document. It does list how your executive team will be communicating and having their meetings. You'd want to have frequent meetings throughout the year to review the club success plan and incorporate it into those meetings to see where you're at. At least 4 times minimum, but if you can do more often, much better, because then you can track where you're at, reassess as needed, and see exactly where you're at in that progress. And you can always update that club success plan as needed too.
So to the following question, if that progress can be checked, that means this plan can be revised, or that is the final from beginning?
Oh, you can absolutely revise it. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Valencia said it best, that it's a living document and should be reviewed regularly. Absolutely.
Hi,
And then
Melissa. Pamela.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask, last year we had our very successful president submit a club success plan. However, I cannot locate it. She cannot locate it online. Is it too late to be able to submit that plan?
For last year, yeah, the year is over, and it wouldn't make sense because you have a new year, new officers, new goals. So I would say don't worry about that past year plan and just focus on getting a new one up into your Club Central.
And Pam, just to clarify, you may have submitted it and it's gone. So even the High Desert Yak Packs that you saw, we submitted 2 years already and they're gone. So it's just because they revamped the website, it kicked them out.
Got it. Thank you.
Melissa?
Yeah.
I also think that if you can add the one from last year or the year before, it will be good to have it there so that it's in the history of the club. So at any time, anybody can go and look at the one that was done the previous year or the year before, just to have a legacy of those club success plan. I think if you have a copy, PDF that you already saved it somewhere else, putting it on the TI, it would not be a bad idea. That's my thought on that.
No, it's a great idea. It's a great way to look and see how you're progressing. And in addition to that, if your club does not use a OneDrive, you can always set up a OneDrive for your club where you can have all of your information, such as past club success plans, uploaded to the cloud, and you can always access them there as well. so they're not wiped out accidentally on the TI website too.
Well, it does sound like TMI does wipe it out every year. So consequently, we wouldn't they don't provide the opportunity to keep the history of our success, our club success plan.
So let me just clarify, Pam, one more time. I'm sorry. So they wiped out the last 2 years. They had been keeping them in there. I think when they updated the website, whatever changes they just did wipe them out, but they should be in there going forward. And if you try to upload last year's or the previous years, it uploads it for this term. So I tried to upload the High Desert Yak Packs and it's telling me it's for the program year 2022, 2023. I can't change the year, unfortunately.
Got it. Thank you.
So Morris, are you saying that they cannot have 2 uploaded plans at one time?
No, I'm going to share real quick, Melissa, just so I can just demonstrate what I'm saying. So this is this 2022-2023 club success plan is the current years. If I try to upload, and I'll just show you, there's no way to change the date here, right? So if I go through and I upload last year's, and you can see it's for 2021, it will continuously say program year 2022-2023. It won't let me change the date, unfortunately. But going forward, we do want to upload our plan every year because it should stay in. Like I said, it's just because Toastmasters revamped the website and it kicked out whatever we had in before.
So my question then to you, Morris, is how do we access last year's?
It's gone. I have no way of seeing, even there's a 2021-2022 link. It's just not there. So if you didn't save last year's or there's no officer that had last year's, it's gone, unfortunately.
That's the point I think I was making in my statement. It would be nice if Toastmasters International saved 1 or 2 years of these, so everybody could have access to them within the club. I do appreciate, however, Melissa's suggestion, OneDrive. Our club just this year initiated a OneDrive history for our club. And so, of course, that's a way to do it. But I think Toastmasters International, it would be helpful if they created this opportunity.
Right. What I'm telling you, though, is that is the purpose of this module. You will upload it every year and it will stay. It's only because the website revamp that they're gone. It kicked out the data, basically. It won't happen again.
Oh, thank you. So it starts new. It's kind of like all the data before 2000 was lost when they did the previous reboot.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So, well, isn't that sad that we lose our history? My club's 52 years old. Yeah.
Maybe you can email their contact info at the web page. Maybe they can send you back individually. I guess. I just wish that could happen.
I don't find that
available. Pam, it's not lost. If you write to Toastmasters, they can research. They have it on
that's
paper.
What I mean. Yeah.
They'll research it. Probably not now, but they will research it for you.
My experience previously with the previous reboot, that everything was not there before 2000, they did not have it available to give us. Thank goodness we have historians within our district. They had some of the information that we needed, but not Toastmasters International. That's my experience, Mike.
So if anyone has not used the OneDrive, that is an option to keep track of your documents. Absolutely. Thanks for the clarification, Morris. Really appreciate it. Any other questions on the club success plan?
Melissa.
Yeah.
Is that OneDrive on the TI site, or is that an individual process?
That's an individual process. That's with it's with Google, I believe. Or well, there's the Google Drive and there's Microsoft OneDrive. Yeah. So both are cloud locations that you could utilize, whichever is easier for your club. And you can give access to anybody, so you can give access to all your club officers. We have some raised hands. John.
It's just a comment. if some people are technically challenged, meaning that they find it very cumbersome to go in there and look for the success plan, if you can get your club to email it to you, you print it out as a PDF, you can handwrite it. If you guys can meet at the coffee club, you can meet for lunch. I would encourage, interaction between club officers so that they can write that club success, handwrite it, and then create a PDF, and it will be done in one day. So, but most of the time, you find that people don't fall through. In other words, that success plan is not there when the area directors make that visit. So.
Thanks, John. Thanks for the feedback. It's a good suggestion for how they can do it either online or in person. And Sunita also mentioned that it's a really good one. The free Toast host website, where you have your website for your club, you can also save the document under member only access, and it'll stay there for the club as well. And then Frankie, you had your hand up?
On the OneDrive, I use OneDrive for myself personally, but to create one for the club, how would I do that? Just with the club email, or is it?
You can create it with the club email, or I believe you can create a subdivision where you give access to only that sub file through your personal email. That way, if you've got other files, you can create a file for your club name, and then in that file, you can give access just to that one avenue, I guess.
I need someone to do that.
Maybe that's a training for another time. That might be a good idea, actually. Any other questions? All right. Well, that is the Club Success Plan. I hope you found it useful. If you have not started it, please start it right away. As I was telling Chaz, the sooner you can get it done, the better. Perhaps you can set a deadline for the end of August to meet with your executive committee and formulate your success plan and get it posted. It will help your club to be stronger. It's going to help you know what direction to take and how you can make your club reach its goals, hopefully President's Distinguished. And we're going to end a little early. I don't think anyone's going to be opposed to that, but I really hope that everyone can walk away feeling like they have some tools in their hands, inspired with their officer role, and take this information back to your club and remember the why you took on this officer role, why you're developing your skills, and why you're helping your club. It's important. You are adding value, as Dr. Kenisha said. You're making a difference. Whether someone is telling you that you're doing it or not, trust me, someone is watching. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And I really appreciate everyone's participation. We'll have recording for everyone at the end, as well as some of the resources. We'll send it out to everybody. And before we end, Morris, did you have any final words?
No, ma'am, but can we give Melissa, our program quality director, a big round of applause for this excellent training and opportunity this morning?
Thank you.
You mean our director is not going to buy us lunch?
It is. It's getting close, isn't it? Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much, Melissa. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Bye, Bond.
Bye-bye. Thank you, leaders.
Great job, Melissa. Great job.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Happy weekend.
Bye. Awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Great
Good
meeting.
job.
Great
Very
value.
nice.
Sharon, are you still there?